right now, we don't have to just be worried about oil reserves. There are a lot of reasons to believe that in addition to having only 20 days supply of oil in the event of emergency, we aren't ready for a conflict with Iran, China, or Russia. From the Wall Street Journal opinion section, the U.S. military's growing weakness. A new Heritage Foundation report warns about declining U.S. power and ability to project power around the globe. Here are the scores. Army, marginal. Air Force, very weak. Space Force, weak. Navy, weak. Marines, strong. Nuclear capabilities, strong. Recruiting is a big part of this. The Army recently just missed its goal by 25%, 20,000 soldiers short. Meanwhile, China, we hear from the New York Times, is poaching retired British pilots to train their fleet and their pilots for a very enticing $270,000 per year, far higher, obviously, than what our troops or our pilots make. Florida Congressman Michael Waltz is the first Green Beret to serve in Congress, former advisor to then Vice President Dick Cheney. With friends like the British, who needs enemies?
Yeah, Leland, I almost find this just too hard to believe.
Well, it's in the New York Times, so it must be true. I know you, but
that sometimes makes it hard to believe as well. But look, I mean, folks need to understand, of course, there are export restrictions if I'm going to send a widget or a key military item or a plane or a tank to a foreign country, much less an adversary like China. But there's also those kinds of controls on our tactics. You can't just go around the world and teach anyone that you want how we do our military planning or our strategy or sniper skills, or how to dogfight or to counter our stealth fighter capabilities. I can't believe that the British don't have those types of restrictions as well. But apparently, according to some of the spokesperson, they're trying to crack down on it.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It's bewildering. And to be clear, these aren't airline pilots. These are guys who flew the very best British jets with the United States training with them. The Chinese sort of did it through a flight school in South Africa, I think. They kind of hit a little bit of who they were with. But this brings up a larger point. You think about how depleted our military supplies are because of the war in Ukraine, right, and how much we've sent overseas, how little we've been able to replenish the stockpile of missiles and ammunition and weapon systems that we sent over to the Ukrainians. Do the American people really understand how perilous a position we're in right now?
No, I don't think so.
Am I right to say that? Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I do think that's fair. I just returned from Taiwan, Guam, and the Philippines because there is the drumbeat of war over there. Just listen to China's President Xi, who's telling his country to prepare for war by 2027, that he's going to take Taiwan one way or another. And why does that matter? It matters because over 50% of the GDP, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, of the global GDP are flowing through those straits, not to mention 90% of global computer chips. So Xi is determined to take it. I think the United States at some point would have to intervene, and we are woefully unprepared to do so. We've seen from Ukraine that logistics wins wars. Well, the Pacific Ocean is twice the length of the Atlantic. It's not like pushing supplies over the Polish-Ukrainian border like we're doing now. It'll be exponentially more difficult, an exponentially tougher adversary in the Chinese military. And the thing that's so upsetting, Leland, is they're stealing their way to the top. Our artificial intelligence, our stealth technology, now apparently our tactics from retired British pilots, the researchers in our research universities for our most.
You lay out this just terrifying. You lay out this terrifying idea, and yet, obviously, the White House knows about this as well. These aren't secrets. It's literally on the front page of the New York Times. We've seen the headlines about the research the Chinese is stealing in the technology. I got 30 seconds. Is it that nobody's willing to do anything about it? Is the cost of confronting China now just too high, and we're going to have to wait until they start shooting at us?
Well, I think this is going to be won or lost economically way before it is militarily, and the Chinese Communist Party is planning on us going off the fiscal cliff into debt. And they know that so many institutions in America are making too much money to do something about it. Wall Street, academia, Hollywood, the NBA, we could go down the list. And that's where we've got to get our supply chains out of there before they use things like cutting off our pharmaceuticals to get their way. This is
well,
incredibly
we got a
serious.
preview. We got a preview at the beginning of COVID. What happens when they start cutting things off? Congressman, it's good to see you. We got to run, but thank you.
All right, thank you, Leland.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.